Good evening, Kinder families. So I had a couple of families reach out to me to get a little clarification on the fluency practice pages that I sent home. So I figured what I would do is just make a quick video explaining what each part of the fluency practice includes. So when you go to the first page with letter sound fluency, this is all the kindergartner. So they're going to be pointing to each dot, each sound that's on the page, and what they're supposed to be doing is going through it and stating the sound, not the letter. So they would be going ah, t, d, ah, k, g, I, and quickly going through, getting through as many as they can. And you can either set a timer for 1 minute to see how far they get, or you can set a timer to see how long it takes them to complete that section. The next section, which is the first sound fluency section, what that is an adult will read the word, and then the kindergartner is to state the first sound they hear. So for example, the adult would say cat, and the kindergartner student would repeat or would respond k, and then the adult would say dog. The student would say d. Adult, man. Student, So again, it's just the adult reading the word and the student trying to identify what that first sound was that they heard in the word. The next page for phoneme segmentation. Again, this is the adult stating the word, and then the student identifying each sound that they hear. Now, for both the first sound fluency and the phoneme segmentation section, the student is not looking at the words at all. This is all oral. So it's just the student hearing the words themselves. So you wouldn't show them the pages for this, or you wouldn't have them looking at it as you're saying it. So for phoneme segmentation, the adult would say sat, and the student would go s-at. The adult would say tip. The student would respond t-ip. And again, going through, seeing how quickly it takes them to get through all of the words that are in the section. And then finally, for nonsense word fluency, this then does go back to the student having the sheet in front of them. And they can do this one of two ways. There's what's called correct letter sounds, and there's also what's called whole words read. Now, correct letter sounds would be if a student goes through and just goes t, I, d, then goes on to the next one, I, g. Whole word read would be that the student is able to look at this word and go tid, mig. So they would get points essentially for each correct letter sound as well as reading the whole word. Now, right now, what we're practicing in class for the majority of the students is them saying each sound, t, I, d, and then blending it together, tid. So they would go through I, g, mig, just getting them that practice with blending the sounds until they're able to become fluent with doing it in their heads. Do not, at this point, there's no need to try and force them to say the sounds in their heads because the majority of them aren't quite at that spot yet. But if it's something that they are open and willing to do, don't discourage it if they're able to do it and state the sounds correctly when doing it. All right, I hope that provides some guidance. And if you have any other questions about this, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you and have a great night.